Tunisia's top 10 perfect times and epic things to do. I've always loved places where history, sea desert collide, and Tunisia is one of those rare spots where so many worlds meet in postcard-perfect harmony. Today, I'm guiding you through a bucket list countdown of Tunisia's top 10 destinations, each shown with gorgeous aerial 4K or higher footage in sweeping 16:9, because the scale of these places deserves the widest possible view. I'll pace this for about 7 minutes total, roughly 35 to 40 seconds per spot, so you can taste the highlights and know the best times to visit. I'm Larry, and I've asked Rick to help craft a travel-minded narration that's warm, practical, and curious. The kind of guide that helps you plan smart plug-and-play adventures. We'll move from the rippling dunes of the Sahara to lively Mediterranean Medinas, and I'll recommend the best experiences: camel rides, Roman amphitheater strolls, cliffside cafes, and market treasures. Each stop includes the ideal season to visit, and the must-do activities so you can match your calendar to Tunisia's best moments. Listen for gentle pacing and a soft American accent voiceover that invites you to linger with each scene. This is designed to be seen in high-resolution aerials and intimate ground shots, letting the camera breathe so you can feel the place. If you're dreaming of Tunisia, come along. We'll make this an efficient, evocative primer. Aerial 4K sweeping coastline, desert dunes from above, ancient ruins overhead, Medina rooftops, 4K. There's a reason Daouz is called the gateway to the Sahara. When you crest a dune and see that endless ocean of sand, you understand why people travel for a lifetime to get a glimpse. I recommend starting with a gentle camel ride at dusk so you can feel the slow rhythm of the desert as the light turns buttery gold. For a more adrenaline-spiked memory, book a 4x4 excursion across the dunes with an experienced guide who knows the tracks and the safe routes. It's the best way to see sculpted ridgelines and hidden oases. Overnight desert camps are an essential experience. A simple tented encampment, a shared fire, and a sky so thick with stars it feels like you can reach out and touch constellations. I always plan visits between October and April, when days are pleasantly mild and nights are cool. It's far more comfortable than midsummer. Bring layers, a warm hat for nighttime, sunscreen for daytime, and a sense of patience for the desert's slow revelations. Don't rush. Some of the Sahara's magic is in sitting, listening, and letting the dunes rearrange your sense of time. If you're a photographer or videographer, aim for golden hour and the blue hour. The shadows on the dunes become sculptural, and the aerial shots are cinematic. Local Bedouin hosts often offer music and mint tea, which is a lovely way to learn about traditional desert life and to support the community. El Gem's Roman amphitheater is one of those unexpectedly monumental sights you can feel the scale of the ancient world close at hand. Walk the ring road. Imagine the roar of crowds during gladiatorial games. A guided tour will layer in the history, pointing out architectural details you might otherwise miss. For photographers, aerial views reveal the amphitheater's perfect oval and its surprising isolation in a patchwork of fields. Plan visits in April through June, September through October when the temperatures are pleasant and the light is forgiving. If your timing's lucky, you might catch a cultural event staged here. Music, theater set in the amphitheater's dramatic bowl gives you a spine-tingling sense of continuity with the past. I recommend climbing some of the accessible tiers for vantage points that offer intimate stone textures and sweeping landscape vistas beyond the arena. Bring comfortable shoes. Some pathways are uneven. The best images often come from wandering slowly and letting the site reveal itself. Nearby museums and interpretive centers are compact but rich. They help you put the amphitheater in a broader Roman North African context. This is a place where architecture, history, and the human scale all come together in one unforgettable stop. Carthage sits like a headland of history above the Mediterranean. Bursa Hill is where you'll get the best mix of ruins views museum context. I like to begin at the top of Bursa Hill for the sweeping panoramas, then work down through Punic Roman Byzantine. Spend some time at the city's archaeological museum to see artifacts that make the ancient trade networks, imperial ambitions feel vividly human. The seaside promenades below are perfect for a relaxed pause after archaeological immersion. A bench by the water is a fine place to digest what you've seen. Best months to visit are March through June, September through October. When the air is clear, the crowds are thinner, the light is cooperative for aerials, the light is cooperative for close-up shots. Strolling shoes are the order of the day. Some paths are grassy and uneven, others paved and breezy with sea spray. Carthage rewards a slow curiosity. Hidden mosaics, ruined baths. Imagine this city as a rival to Rome. I always advise travelers to take time here to read the plaques and listen to local guides. Their stories will knit the ruins into a memorable narrative of empire, trade, quiet decline. It's an essential stop to understand the deep roots Tunisia holds in Mediterranean history. Aerial of Bursa Hill 4K, Carthage ruins from above, museum artifact close-ups, seaside promenade shots. Chapter 4. Sidi Bou Said is the picture of blue and white Mediterranean charm, perched on cliffs above the sea, begging you to slow down and savor simple pleasures. Wander the narrow lanes, cobalt doors, window trims punctuate whitewashed walls, then pause in a cliffside cafe for mint tea and a view that feels like someone carefully composed it for you. The shopping here is about local crafts, small ceramics, embroidered textiles, and artful souvenirs that are a pleasure to browse and to support local makers. Sunset in Sidi Bou Said is a near-religious experience. The blue of the town deepens while the sea takes on molten gold, and every terrace seems to hold a pair of quietly enchanted viewers. Best months to come are April, June, and September when the weather is balmy and the cafe terraces aren't overrun. Bring a light scarf and comfortable walking shoes. Some streets are steep and paved with small stones that keep your pace humble and observant. I try to linger in Sidi Bou Said because it's one of those places where the visual rhythm slows your internal clock and invites conversation with locals. The architecture and vistas make for irresistible aerial footage and intimate close-ups alike, so plan time for both wide swoops to show the town in context and tight frames that capture the town's texture and color. Chapter 5. The Medina of Tunis is an exhilarating maze of life, commerce, worship, daily rhythms, narrow passageways, and surprising squares. I always recommend a guided walking tour. The best souks, the quieter artisan workshops, the lively food stalls sample brick, spicy merguez, and other Tunisian street treats. The area around the Zitouna Mosque is the Medina's heart. Even just standing at the edge and listening to the calls to prayer gives you a profound sense of place. Best months to visit are March, May, and September, October, when mornings are fresh and afternoons are comfortably warm. Perfect for wandering without being stifled. Bargaining in the souks is part of the experience. Be friendly, take time to appreciate craftsmanship, and enjoy the human exchanges more than the score of a bargain. Keep a small bag close and respect local customs when visiting religious sites. Modesty and curiosity are both rewarded. For photographers, Medina roofs and minarets make striking aerial patterns, while close-ups capture the textures of spices, textiles, and carved wood. I find the Medina is best experienced in layers. First the overview, then the details, and finally a pause at a tea house where the city's pulse becomes a pleasant, human rhythm. Chapter 6. Djerba is a softness on the map. Palm-lined beaches, small towns with calm rhythms, a mix of cultures that's visible in synagogues, mosques, and marketplaces. Plan a beach day to stretch out and take in the Mediterranean, but also leave time for Humt Souk. Whitewashed alleyways, lively markets, cafes, and coastal charm. If you like snorkeling, set out for the clear shallows where jewel-toned fish and gentle reefs make for easy exploration. Best travel months are May-October, when the sea is warm and the island's relaxed energy is at its best. I always recommend visiting a local synagogue and other cultural sites to appreciate Jerba's long, plural history. It's one of those places where history and peaceful island life coexist. Explore island markets for handmade pottery, silverwork, and woven goods that make meaningful souvenirs and gifts. For aerials, Jerba's coastline reads beautifully. Curves of sand, shaded palm groves, and the whitewash of village rooftops. Boat trips are a pleasant extra. They give you a coastal perspective and often offer quiet coves where you can swim away from the busier stretches of beach. Jerba is a place to breathe, slow down, and let the Mediterranean pace seep into your bones. Tozeur is an oasis town that feels like an emerald tucked into an ochre landscape, its palm groves offering relief and a surprising architectural charm with ornate brickwork. I recommend wandering the Palmeraie and the Old Medina, where the sun-carved facades and cool courtyard gardens offer literal and figurative shade from the desert heat. Nearby, Chott El Djerid is a salt flat that turns surreal at sunrise. At sunset, the mirages, the reflections can play tricks on your camera and your sense of scale. Best times to visit: March through May and October through November, when the light is crisp and temperatures are moderate for walking. Photographing the salt flats at dawn rewards patience. The color shifts are dramatic. The aerials become abstract paintings of white and brown with streaks of crystalline detail. Local guides can arrange short drives across safe sections of the flats, but always respect local advice. Conditions can vary, and a knowledgeable driver keeps the experience secure and memorable. Tozeur's finer pleasures are low-key: a cafe with fresh dates, a stroll through shaded alleys, and the sense of having discovered a quiet, cultivated corner of the desert. Bring neutral clothing for comfortable contrast with the landscape and a good sun hat. The desert's light is brilliant and merciless when noon arrives. This is a spot where landscape and local life make a quietly compelling duet. Kairouan is a spiritual and cultural heart of Tunisia, and the Great Mosque stands as a monumental symbol of enduring faith and craftsmanship. I suggest timing a visit to the mosque when it's quieter. Take in the vast hypostyle hall, admire the carved wooden doors, enjoy the calm courtyard. Around the mosque, the city hums with craftspeople, carpet weavers, ceramic makers. Learn traditional techniques, buy directly from the makers. March to May, September to October. Spring light flatters the mosque, great for ground and aerial shots. Don't miss local pastries, sweets with mint tea and slow conversation. Modest dress in holy spaces. A small donation or respectful inquiry to caretakers. Kairouan feels deliberately paced, weaving, praying, trading through centuries. For travelers, monumental architecture, intimate craft workshops. Learn the story behind each piece. Monastyr's Rabat is a fortress that looks like something from a seafaring legend, with crenellated walls, watchtowers, and views that sweep across the Mediterranean. Touring the Rabat gives you a tactile sense of coastal defense architecture and the rhythms of life in a fortified town. After history, reward yourself with the town's beaches or a boat trip along the coast. There's a maritime ease to Monastir that complements its stonework and history. April to June and September are prime times to visit. Sea breezes are pleasant, and beaches feel inviting without peak crowds. Bring sunscreen and bring curiosity. The Rabat is best explored slowly. Climb narrow staircases and take in the lookout points where sailors once kept watch for approaching ships. The Medina is compact and friendly. Cafes where locals gather. Seafood offerings in the restaurants. Monastir gives an elegant coastal contrast to inland and desert stops. Fortified history meets modern-day seaside leisure. Aerial, the Rabat rising above the shore makes dramatic silhouettes. Boating footage shows the coastline's gentle sweep. It's a balanced stop for history lovers and beachgoers alike. I've saved Sousse and Port El Kantaoui for last because they combine history, leisure, marina life that appeals to many travelers. Start in Sousse's Medina. Kasbah and ramparts anchor a living, walkable historical center, souks, cafes, and the rhythm of daily life. The Medina's lanes are a delight to lose yourself in. Pottery, leatherwork, spices. And the Kasbah's views remind you this has always been a port city with wide horizons. Port El Kantaoui is nearby and offers a modern marina, leisurely beach clubs, and boating opportunities that contrast nicely with Sousse's old-world charm. Best months to visit are May to September, when beach weather is reliably warm and the marina is lively with yachts and seaside dining. For families or travelers seeking a mix of culture and relaxation, this pairing is ideal. Morning history in Sousse, afternoon swim in Port El Kantaoui, or boat ride in Port El Kantaoui. Sousse as the #1 pick isn't about ranking to diminish others. It's a practical nod to accessibility, variety of experiences, and that feeling of finishing a day with a cold drink at the marina while the sun slides toward the horizon. It's an inviting end to a Tunisian circuit that balances the ancient, the coastal, and the relaxed. Thank you for joining this bucket list countdown of Tunisia's top 10 destinations. From the Sahara's dune seas to the blue and white lanes of Sidi Bou Said, this country offers compact wonder after, much more than you might expect.